In the world of Naruto, there are many men and women who've been declared legends. The legendary Sani, the first and third Hokage were both called the Goddess Shinobi, and the Uchiha clan spawned legends such as Madara Uchiha and Sasuke Uchiha. However, Kakashi Hatake, from the moment he gained Obito's Sharingan, quickly began to build a legend that was stretched past the borders of the 5 great nations to a land where the Sages 6 Paths once lived. It would be in this very same land that Kakashi, while on his S-rank mission to find a cure for Naruto's deadly chakra illness that is slowly killing Naruto, that Kakashi would unknowingly step foot in this land where his exploits with the Sharingan were viewed as myths and legends, and Kakashi, upon seeing the dire situation that the land was in, would make a major decision to declare war. The land had fallen into chaos, its people were suffering, and the Prime Minister was making a power play at the expense of these very same people whose bodies were being piled up on the street. With Kakashi being a former leader of men during his time as Hokage, Kakashi, upon receiving the response of the Prime Minister, had certainly had enough, vowing to both change the fortunes of the drought-plagued land, and after leaving with intel on the cure for Naruto's deadly chakra illness, he vowed that he would do so knowing that he left this land in the hands of rulers who would do right by their people. In today's edition of Kakashi Resident, we're going to take a look at the moment where Kakashi decided that he had finally seen enough and declared his own personal war against the Prime Minister, choosing to employ the methods that he picked up during his days during the Anbu, and he did so in order to bring about change. The information is given to us in the Kakashi Resident novel, which is set during the Boruto era between the events of the Mujina Bandits arc and the Owl arc of the manga. It should be noted that while Kakashi is on his own S-rank mission, Sasuke and Sakura are about to set off on their own mission in the same land of Redaku in order to find answers for Naruto's chakra illness, partly because Sasuke, growing frustrated with Naruto's rapidly deteriorating health, which had gotten so bad that even light sparring with Boruto left Naruto in pain, suffering symptoms that are similar to a heart attack. Sasuke rushed from Konoha without waiting for more intel from Kakashi, which then caused Sakura to be assigned on the follow-up team that followed after Sasuke once Konoha gathered more intel to assist him. For more information about Sasuke Resident, I have a whole playlist set up that covers the novel in detail in chronological order for those of you who are interested in hearing more of that story. With the timeline and circumstances being set, let's dive right into the topic at hand. So in the scene I'm going to share with you guys, Kakashi is standing under the balcony in the shadows, watching as the Prime Minister seemingly takes advantage of the Queen of Redaku's uncertainty about her ability to use the Suigu to bring water to the land and heal the land from its drought. If she uses too much of the Suigu's power, then the land itself could flood, and if she doesn't use enough of her power, then the people in her land will die from drought and famine. So what I'll do for you guys now is read the scene in question, then come back to you guys with my thoughts, and it's here I'm gonna begin quoting. "Nanara hasn't tried using it yet. Perhaps that child could use it," said Minari. The minister was laughing, looking down at the town. "What are you gonna do with that failure? What do you expect him to do? Aren't you being a little too rude, Prime Minister?" Minari's voice was sharp for the very first time. Kakashi stepped back. "Minari is my brother. He's part of the royal family. Show him respect." "Excuse me, Minari-sama. Unfortunately, I only spoke the truth." He looked back and apologized for his rudeness. "Nanar is now living in Nagare village. I heard he keeps playing every day instead of studying like he's supposed to. He's such a naughty child. I don't think he's capable of using the Suigu. Minari-sama, you have to make a decision." I am." Minari kept silent and did not move, as if she had been frozen by the weight of the circumstances. I will never use the Suigu again. I'll do whatever you say, and I'll do for the country whatever I can, whatever you think is best." "If there's no water in the country, then we can only take it from all the other countries around us. Take all their resources and we shall thrive." Kakashi, who had went down the wall, suddenly leaned against it and thought he had infiltrated the country to find more information, but it seemed like this country couldn't be left alone. He had to do something. The country was exhausted by man-made disasters and the people were hungry. Moreover, he could tell that the idiotic Prime Minister was trying to start a war with all the other countries. Kakashi couldn't stand by idly. I can't say why Minari can't use the Suigu at this stage, but most of the time there are conditions which can trigger this. For example, maybe only men could use it, or maybe a contract's needed. It could be that the previous king died suddenly, so such conditions weren't met. I'll have to look into this further, Kakashi said. Kakashi slowly looked back at the royal palace. The building was probably plagued by the Prime Minister's dictatorship. It would take a long time to reach the queen after infiltrating as a maiden, or maybe maybe as a bureaucrat. Moreover, the minister said that Minari's brother lived in Nagare village. It seemed easier to get closer to him and then work his way to the queen. The old woman that he met during the day said that it took approximately 3 days on horseback from the capital to reach the village of Nagare. Given that Kakashi was a ninja, it would only take him a few hours. But the problem was, how did he get in touch? How did he get in touch with the young prince? End quote. So if any of you guys heard the description about Nanari and thought about a young Naruto Uzumaki, just know that you aren't alone, and that is going to be very important. A young boy who's more interested in playing games than actually working and quick to stir up mischief. In my opinion, reading in between the lines of what was said and Kakashi's future actions, I feel like this is the part of the reason why Kakashi was interested in him, as he said he was about to go to the city where Nanari lived. Later on in this prologue, we're actually introduced to Nanari, who's playing a kid's game in Redaku. Nanari's favorite character to use was Kakashi, and as he recreated the battle with Zabuza, Nanari throws everything all out there and has Kakashi use his purple lightning jutsu, which we as Naruto fans know that Kakashi never had that jutsu when he fought against Zabuza. It should also be noted that due to Redaku being so far away from the land of fire, taking Kakashi over 30 days of travel to reach it, that the exploits of Kakashi and the other ninja from the 5 great nations are viewed as legends and myths. It's important to note that for Nanari, hearing the legends of Kakashi cutting down lightning bolts and fighting against quote-unquote demons, hearing these stories from his father, the former king, gave him a way to escape. Unbeknownst to him, the source of those legends was coming directly to him, and Nanari would get the chance to meet the man that he idolized. For Kakashi, this mission to save Naruto has turned into something more personal, something more deeper. It's his own personal war against the prime minister, who is hell-bent on invading other countries to take their resources and disregarding the lives of the people that the queen that he serves rules over. Kakashi has now stepped back into his Anbu mode, where he worked from the shadows to gather intel and eventually take that very same intel to change the situation before him. I personally love this because it reminds me of Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid, who would always start the video game on the outside of the area and work his way into the building where the terrorists were, and then have to sneak around on the inside and begin to use espionage stealth tactics in order to gather intel to find the thumbscrew of his enemies that will unravel all of their plans, and along the way he would fight whatever bad guys showed up. Kakashi is about to do the exact same thing. Having already made it to Redaku, he's now about to work his way inside the rank to find the best way to bring down the prime minister, while also solving the problem that the people face with the drought, and along the way he would search for information about the cure that would save Naruto from his chakra illness, the very same illness that the Sage of Six Paths once had. That's gonna be it for this installment of Kakashi Retsuden. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to make more videos about Kakashi Retsuden in the future. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.